Morningstar. Alright, so there was that ghost. Yeah, Confuse is... You may run into a ghost that has MR, and in which case it's like, well, you're going to avoid that ghost. Okay, so that's Remove Curse. Now we got some extra RC. I did get my Buckler. Alright, so what we need to train... Now, I'm actually going to... The shield is so good. What does it do if I... put this? Okay, so it's still a little bit much. Off the Buckler. No, I can train both of these, I think. It's fine. I forget where the penalty turns off. Mutation Gamble is good. If you do it right, I do it most games. A lot of people who are longtime players who didn't like the purple chunk removal are like, now roulette is dead, don't ever do it. But I do it, I would say, most games. I do require that I have enough potions that it's comfortable, but there's really no harm in doing it. Now you can get games where you just don't get mutation potions. Our shields. 4. Okay, so we're not going to get to 4. We might have to put it on hold though. It's just a lot of skill to get that to 4 levels. I might just hold off and work on this plan because the early game is all about getting the biggest advantage you can. The biggest advantage you can get right now. That's what the early game is. Like, get the big advantage now. Don't go for long-term stuff unless you're playing something really strong. Like, this character is, you know, it's getting stronger by the minute, but it's still not. Alright, so Makla, this is not the traditional stealth god, but this is an excellent god. Before I decide, I will probably clear more of the level, but it doesn't get much better than Makla. It's not a typical Enchanter choice because Maklab is, you know, so associated with doing a lot of melee. And often people build their stealthy characters so that they don't... Okay, please, no, you wouldn't. That's fine. These guys are both, you know, there was 2 of them that got woken up, and so that's the risk that you run there. Which is fine. Not going Kiku. I've gone Kiku too much recently. I don't know if the command... Never Che. Never Che. Never go Che. If you're a turn count runner, I'll forgive you for going Che, because Che is superlative for turn count, but other than that... We meet again, my old nemesis. Ah, Ellie, Zin. Unfortunately, I cannot... These gods don't like me, sadly. So if I hit down, I get this message. So they're just taunting me at this point. It's a shame. For other enchanters, they are pretty good gods to... Well, that was not a pun intended, but... You get my drift. Okay, so ice magic we might stop at, I don't know. I can go ahead just for convenience, just switch over to hexes. So that's enough. And it did drop our miscast rate down a little bit. It's honestly, like, the difference is not that big. I could have just only trained hexes, but whatever. Enchanter of TSO. That is true. Enchanter of TSO would not be good. However, Enchanter of Ellie, Enchanter of Zin, those are good calls. We got Dex. I know Nope would like to see that. Okay, please. Alright, looks like we're gonna bat our way out of here. I don't want him to confuse me and create a ruckus. We'll go over here and we'll untransform with our boy. can't get... Oh, he's got a venom dagger. That's a nice... Well, I probably can't do too much with that because to run into something that's susceptible to poison but not susceptible to electricity, that's not really a thing. Okay, we got... Still, there we go. Dagger, wow, dude. I mean, dagger flaming is not a good weapon, but what's +1 dagger? I think we're probably past the days of me actually using the hunting sling, given that I have bat form. Emerald potion. The ID scroll, so just be pretty aggressive about using these. Pen of Che, why would you? Why? Why would you do that? I mean, you can do anything. I mean, you can do Atheist, you can worship Che on fast-moving characters, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, you can do like challenges like dupes and do's, you can do anything and actually succeed at them. But we're just talking about like if you wanted to play that play style and you wanted to have the best, you know, good odds at winning, not necessarily literally the best, because just because it's the best doesn't mean you actually want to play it. You know, Che has its fans, and yeah, slouch. Worm is nothing to me, it's just full of goo. So anytime you see an orc, yep, there is the orc wizard, and quite possibly an orc priest, and those are... Orc wizards are not too scary to us right now. They can complicate a fight, but orc priests are still kind of scary. Oh yeah. Starbase. Short Sword of Distortion. This bad boy is, so... Okay, we got him. Don't need to pick up this short sword, I am not going to wield it. But, wow, we're getting, we're certainly getting monsters decked out in some good, short blades this game. Can't stab this guy. Good. These guys will just melee. Embroidered robe, that's nice. That's probably going to be something good. You slouch anytime at your desk. I don't get it. -2. Can't have nice things. Don't deserve nice things, so because you don't deserve them, you can't have them. There we go. I think we'll take another int. We do have a bonus in dex right for now. I might end up taking some dex at some point. This character could very well just stay in a robe for the entire game. Kinda don't want to go Makleb. I mean, this is actually a fine sort of character to do a more of a melee style, but yeah, okay. Alright, so I'm slow, but you know what, actually, what is my... So it's 0.9. I'm gonna take him up. And alright, well, he went down one way or another. Take other stairs. void of blood. I haven't really thought too much about how I want to manage my blood. There is the Orc Priest. So 2 smites from those puts 2 like max damage smites puts me at near death. Okay, so we got him confused. The problem with these orcs is always that this, yes, I mean this is what it is every time. There's always more. And you can see just right there, I got down to within 1 smite of damage because there was another one. So I wasn't being careful enough there. Good thing that I got out of there when I did. It's the orcs that'll get you. The same situation all over again. There's another orc wizard. What was this? There we go. What was that? All right. I think some of the worst of this is over. Alright, so there's our hexes. Let's go ahead and get that spell casting. We could learn Tukima or Dazzling. Dazzling is kind of nice because it's just instant range to damage, and it may disable them. It's probably a little bit more useful to me. I mean, Tukima is kind of similar, to be honest, but it only works on monsters that have a weapon. I will definitely be getting both, but I'll probably take Dazzle for now. Got here. Oh, this is another overflow altar. Yes, Gozag, Wu Jian, Vedas. Ugh, this selection. Gozag is honestly a pretty good choice for an Enchanter. However, managing Gozag with a vampire, what is that going to be like? I have to imagine that is going to be, yeah, that's what I would guess. Because you have to buy blood potions. And that sounds like that's going to be a real hassle. I wonder, what people... yeah, he has food shops. Wow, one game VP of Gozag. Really? Wow. That's over 09, that's 020, 021. Dang. It would certainly be unique. 2 games. Jeez. Yeah, I probably don't want to mess with that. Yeah, that's the issue, is that, you know, that blood is rotting away, so it just doesn't sound fun. Vedas, I don't like. Wu Jian is, again, I would just choose Mak, I think. I mean, it's viable. I do need another Wu win, but I think I'm going to hold off. Now, ideally, you would actually want to pick one of these strong gods. I guess ideally, in this case, you'd really just want to pick Makleb or Vedas. That is true. He doesn't... It's not just ghouls. I actually forget. I mean, I don't like Vedas, so... Yeah, okay. Well, so the only choice is Makleb, and if you wanted, you could choose Wu, and if you actually really wanted, I guess you could choose Gozag. But we'll continue going. I'd like to avoid worshipping Kiku if I could, because I've done a bunch of Kiku games recently. I'm going to use one of my ID scrolls. So I'm going to go back up here and read this. That's fog. Nice. So I used one identify scroll, and I'm going to save the other one. Mostly interested in potions and other things that I can't read ID. There is a centaur. I'm gonna turn into a bat. Get the heck out of here. So the centaur has to be handled carefully. There's too much other stuff around here. That centaur may be awake now, even. I don't have any wands or other sort of like tricks, so if I get into trouble with him, well, I say that, then I find a wand. Okay, that's a good wand to find. 21 charges too. Balanced game. See if we can get a stab on old... Oh boy. Alright, so we may have to get some hijinks going here. I can use wands as a bat, can't I? It's an interesting thought. Well, I don't know if I can use wands. Yes, I can. Okay. Well, that handled that. I don't know, the bat was unnecessary. Although, what does that do to my EV? See, I need to familiarize myself with all of the... Now, the issue isn't that Wu would be like horrible. It would be an okay choice. I would probably prefer Maklub, though. It's just that it would push this to a lot more of a melee character to get the benefit out of those gods. And I don't know that I want to go that. I still could backtrack and go worship them if I change my mind. I mean, Kiku is the smartest one, like, kind of far and away, but who else would I... Actually, I haven't really thought who else I would actually want. Ash is, you know, okay. Like, at this point, the vampire is pretty strong, so Ash being weak, and it could sort of help with some stuff, but doesn't seem like the best call for me. Elliptic does have a... Let me select these skills. What do I actually want to do? Oh, that doesn't work. Got to include an index. So he's going into fighting next and dodging. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of fighting. Sounds like a Metroid remake. And what does he do for... Does he have a god? His god's listed here. Yeah, he gives very general advice about what you can do with gods. Yeah. A lot of it really, I guess, is... I mean, if you want to boil it down to, like, Dith is about giving you more stealth, but it's also helping melee or ranged combat, or even conjurations. Jiva is giving you a really OP kind of fallback ability if you can't stab something. Lucy is sort of likewise, pretty much. I mean, you can use Disto if you prefer. So if you wanted to go more the conjurations route, then yeah, like he says, Ash and Bear are good. You can even do Sif if you wanted to. It's probably not the best choice, but I have done, I think, an Enchanter. No, I have not. That would probably make a lot more sense, because it's all about, like, if you're going to also use some conjurations, it's kind of nice to have some streamlining there. But I could also see a Sif character. Gozak would actually be pretty cool if you weren't a vampire, I think. But weird food management makes it kind of like a little bit awful. Oh, there's our boy. So what we can do is let him come from around the corner and then just try to hex him a bit. Once he's not going to shoot me in the face, it's not so bad. Gargoyle fighter. Keep getting the fighters. So what's okay? Confuse isn't amazing, but I want to have a setup where I can actually fight this guy. Probably gonna. We'll have to see how this goes. All right. Looks like he survived our wrath. We did get a lot of stabs in, but it just wasn't quite enough. Our duration with Confuse is not amazing, so we can basically just go up and try that again, and we'll probably get him the second time. We might have rolled slightly low on our stabs, or we actually don't even have... actually, we haven't trained our starting... We've done short blades to 5, that's right, but our stab damage is not amazing right now. So it's perhaps not too surprising that high HP stuff is a little bit testy. The old secret of mana. Where's Free Kill? Free Kill B is waiting to queue up the secret of mana drum samples. He loves that. Okay, that is Grinder, that's bad. That is a Water Moccasin, also bad. So, Grinder is a huge problem. Standing next to some nice potions, too. One of which looks like I can get, but I don't know if that Water Moccasin wakes up with a hiss or what. There's our fighting, so we'll do some dodging. Now they're only +1, they're not quite as crazy, so we might just stop at 5 for dodging for these guys. It's not quite the same. This is one difference with Spen, or yeah, with Spriggan. They have like a, what do they have, a +4, so they have a much faster progression, so just some initial points to give us some more EV would be nice, and we're not going to go perhaps quite as high, we'll see. We got the cure pot, but the Whip of Distortion. There's our boy, hello. Just take this up with us. Clear this out. Finally get this Orc Priest out of the way. Still a little bit risky even with 52 HP if you get unlucky, but I did have a Power Wand, so... I can't really deal with this guy with 15 million... Let's see if we can't get lucky here. Almost. There we go. Now we took him down. Wow, that really trained fast. That was a lot of XP. What do we have for next? The elliptic formula. Next, he's going back into short blades. Yeah, so this makes sense. A lot of this I would formulate like on my own. His specific numbers are probably pretty tuned to Spriggan. I think they're just basically about where the cost comparison comes in. So right now, if you look at what my dodging is, it's the exact same cost as short blades, which makes sense because they have the same aptitudes and they're trained to basically the same level. So it's basically identical to either train short blades for some damage or dodging, but short blades probably gives a little bit more benefit. So we'll do that. Whereas for Spriggan, they are only +1, so the 8 makes a little bit more sense for them. Again, this is just about eking out all the advantage early on to make your character as strong as it can be in these like harder portions of the game. And you know, a Spriggan Enchanter is a really strong character, but so it's not absolutely critical, but Enchanters also require a lot of attention to detail. If you're playing something like a fighter, it's a little bit less critical that you know, balance your skill training. Ured. Now Ured is a good enchanter god. That's for sure. It's just not a god that I particularly enjoy. Oh, there's Ash. Wow. Grinder the Gatekeeper. What is sorry, MR? Grinder doesn't have very good MR. I could go after Grinder with Para Wand. The main issue is that Grinder can paralyze me just fine. I am, however, RN2, so her pain doesn't do much. I think it can still damage me, it just doesn't do a lot. Alright, so god-wise, we have Ash behind Grinder, along with the Heal Wounds pot that I certainly wouldn't mind having. And then we have Ured, and then we have Mach. I'm not super keen on worshipping Ured. It's the last time I won. Might have been last Enchanter I won. What was it? Oh, it was the Dean of Zin. Okay. Yeah, I remember that game. And before that, it was a Spen of Ash. So I haven't won. Oh, thank you for the follow. Rach Vent. I've won 2 Dith games, Ash, and Dith is like in some ways it sort of feels like a natural choice. It's not the best choice. Your stealth is already good, and so the stealth bonus is a little bit less good. You do have like an essentially an EV bonus, which is certainly nice, and then you do have a tool to help you with stabs. It's situationally good, and then you have a really top tier escape ability, which it's always good to have a panic button, and then you have something that just helps you out with melee. It just people take Dith and they kind of want it to feel like the ultimate enchanter experience, kind of like if you worship Kiku, how it feels like necromancy, you know, plus or whatever. But that's not quite what it is with Dith. Well, I gotta decide. It's kind of dumb to keep going further and further without choosing a god, and I actually don't have a particular god in mind that would just be really great. Like Nem is an easy choice because it's strong and the effects like allow you to stab and then do other stuff, but Nem is super overkill. Ru is actually a pretty good choice if you make the right sacrifices. Well, that's not really helping you too much with stealth, to be honest. It's also sort of more of like a melee approach. Kind of leaning towards Maklub. To be honest. I mean, Ash is okay. I don't think Ash is too annoying. I wonder what Elliptic won his last. Probably a lot of Kiku stuff. Yeah, see, he did Ru. That makes sense. What distro? What distro? What do you mean, what distro? Yeah, LE. Kiku. Yeah, Spen of Gozag's pretty good. So it's like... What a random question, though.